I am so excited for this episode today because I am sharing how to make my mushroom bourguignon from the 2 Spoons Cookbook. I absolutely love this recipe because it is just so warm and comforting and perfect for those cold fall and winter months. Also, it's a really good recipe for date night. So if you're looking for something that really just brings that wow factor, then this is a great recipe. And also, it's so simple to do because we're really just throwing everything in a pot. Don't forget that this recipe is really just a stew. So it's all around so simple to do, but really is that impressive dish that brings that wow factor. Another thing about this recipe is I serve it with buttery mashed potatoes, a very simple recipe to make, but together it just pairs so perfectly. It's a classic combination and an absolute must when you're serving mushroom bourguignon. I'm using mushrooms for this recipe in replace of beef, obviously because it's vegan. I just love the mushrooms in this recipe because it adds that really nice meaty texture that we're looking for in a bourguignon, and then we're getting all that beautiful flavor from things like red wine and thyme and bayleaf and garlic and all the goods. So let's get started on how to make this delicious mushroom bourguignon. So we're gonna add the shallots to a bowl and we're gonna pour over some boiling hot water. I'm just gonna leave these for 3 minutes and we're gonna peel them once they've kind of had a little bit of time to soak. Now what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be chopping up my carrots into kind of like rough chunks. I'm also gonna be chopping my mushrooms and my potatoes. When we're doing the chopping, nothing needs to be super precise. We kind of like that chunkiness when we're thinking of a stew, so you can really do it to the size you like, but remember that the smaller it is, the more quickly it cooks. Okay, I'm gonna take them out. I'm just gonna kind of shake them and like pat them dry. That was a good one. I start crying.
Oh no.
1 down, 12 to go. Okay, we're gonna be trying this. Let's see if this works. This is actually making a big difference. I can hardly see because they're tinted, but So now that I've chopped all my veg, I'm gonna head over to my stove. We're gonna be cooking the mushrooms in 2 batches. We want them to be beautifully browned, and if we cook them all together, then they're gonna be overcrowded and they might get a little bit soggy and gray, which is what we don't want. So that's why we're gonna be doing it in 2 batches. Okay, so now that we've browned the mushrooms, we are gonna get started on softening the carrots, shallots, and garlic. I love sizzling butter. So these are looking beautifully softened. Now let's add in the flour for thickening. Some red wine for all that yummy flavor. Tomato paste, tamari, and maple syrup. Add in those golden mushrooms and 2 cups of veg broth. And lastly, add the thyme and bay leaf for that seasoning. Okay, so I've got my mushroom bourguignon bubbling away at the side. I want to leave that bubbling for about 20 minutes so that it thickens nicely and everything softens. Meanwhile, I'm going to be working on my potatoes. So I've got a pot of water here boiling. I'm going to salt the water and then we're going to throw in the potatoes, let them soften, add the rest of the ingredients and mash them. So let's add the melted butter, almond milk, coconut yogurt, salt, pepper, and mash. These are looking so good, fluffy, and perfect. Lastly, just remember to move the thyme and bay leaf from your bourguignon. We have our mushroom bourguignon with buttery mashed potatoes ready. I'm going to start by serving with mashed potatoes, and I'm going to finish with the bourguignon. This is calling my name. It smells so rich and comforting. I need to give it a try. Oh my god. This is so good. It's so comforting. The mashed potatoes with the bourguignon is such a classic combo. And the bourguignon is so full of flavor. Like with the mushrooms, it's nice and meaty, but we've thrown in so much flavor with the broth and the tamari and the red wine. It's just all around such a comforting dish. Hot. This is so yummy.